Namaste
Namaste
Techies.
Techies. Namaste
Namaste
Anu.
Harji.
All right. So today is a great day. We have a very special guest joining us from Microsoft. And no, that's not me. But
We are very excited about it, right?
about me or about the guest?
About the special guest. Obviously, you are part of the show.
Right. So we got an awesome special guest who took the time, and we're so appreciative to have him here. Let's welcome Christiaan Brinkhoff of Microsoft.
Hi guys.
Hey,
Hi.
Christian.
Hi, Christian.
Hi. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
So those of you who don't know, Christian is the face behind, or the phrase in the front of Windows 365 Cloud PC that has been, the talk of town in the last few months, and also going forward. So you've seen a lot of blog posts, a lot of videos from Christian, and some events as well. So he's joining us live today, and couldn't be happier.
Yay.
Yeah,
So
great
Christian,
intro, guys.
you recently moved from Europe to Seattle with your family, and can you tell us a little bit about that, about your journey?
Yeah, definitely. So maybe I can take another step back even
Sure.
before that move. So I joined Microsoft, I think it's roughly 3 years ago, when I was still like a freelancer working for Avis Logics. It's a company that is acquired by Microsoft. So I did that like roughly for a year, and then Microsoft knocked on the door saying, hey, you have a good product. We want to leverage your product inside a new technology that we are building. And that eventually was like Windows Virtual Desktop, now Azure Virtual Desktop. And as part of that like journey, I moved into Microsoft. I had the opportunity to help establishing the field, the market, and build out like a commodity and community around Azure Virtual Desktop. And once I did that for roughly a year, we started to work on a new product, which is Windows 365, and previously as a code name called The Shoots. Maybe some know about that. So that was kind of fun because The Shoots is a county, an area here, as well as a beer brand. So I drink it quite often. It's pretty good beer, by the way. So as part of that journey, like that move to the Windows 365 Cloud PC engineering team, I had the opportunity to move with my family to Redmond. So I did it first for, I think, roughly 6-7 months from the Netherlands because there was no option to travel because of COVID, and the borders were closed. So all those things were not very helpful to move like last year. So we took the opportunity to move just before the summer. So we moved in July just this year. And as you might know, if you're like familiar with the area here, in July timeframe, the nice weather really starts to take off until like basically right now, and then becomes like a little bit worse with rain and such. I just moved to Redmond, and we are enjoying it here pretty good. And it's great to be in the same time zone as well, because that was one of the struggles. I was in like 9 hours
difference.
Yeah, in time difference. Yeah, so that was kind of a challenge sometimes. So now I'm just in the same time zone, and even 9 minutes walking away from my office. So
that's even better.
So, yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
So that's been my challenge with Anoop as well, right? Well, we got 10.5 hours, Anoop? Something like that.
Almost.
We try to plan that. It's like when it's good for me, it's not good for him, and so on and so forth. But
it's
I'm
kind of
available 24/7.
Yeah, Anoop is always responsive. I can tell that out of experience myself. It's kind of the new challenges, right? New way of working from home. Yeah. Everybody works from home, so it looks pretty much the same if you see the other person on the screen, right? But it doesn't mean that person is in the same time zone. So you really need to reflect as well. Okay, you're in your morning, you're in your afternoon, so it means that you perhaps need to spend like more time with your family instead, right? Because the evening is starting. So that's kind of sometimes.
I worked for higher education for many, many years, and I just, as you know, I recently joined Microsoft a few months ago, and I was very focused to local because that's my customer base and everything like that, my user base. And now everything has shifted. Even though I'm on the East Coast, I still deal with people all over the world. So I'm like dealing with time zones now, right? Whether it's with people internal at Microsoft like you, trying to like coordinate things or get answers and support and whatever, and join events and stuff like that. And so it's been really interesting, but fun at the same time.
Yeah, but Eastern time is like, I think from like at least the US is the best time zone to be in, because it's just 3 hours more to the Europe side and the Indian side as well. So it makes it a little bit better. So you are never really, when your day is starting, you're not like asking some people to work as well at the end of their working day, because they are still having like 3 hours somewhat in the afternoon. So I think that's a good thing. When I'm asking companies in Europe to join meetings, I need to either wake up early or they need to work like from 5 to 6 or something, and that's not always normal in businesses. So
oh, that's good, yeah. And I see you're enjoying the area. You're exploring a lot of places, which is really fun to see that. And
you have a lot of outdoor kind of hiking places. You can like ski and snowboard in the winter. So last weekend I did a hike on like 1.3 kilometers high, and was a pretty intense one as well. I think it was roughly 7. No, it was more like 8 kilometers to go to the top. So it was kind of fun. Nice view. You could see like Mount Rainier there as well, and we left some Windows 365 stickers.
We saw that.
I saw that.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was nice.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's called mailbox speak, and there's like a mailbox on top. So it works like if you reach the top, you need to exchange something with somebody else. So somebody puts something in and you take it out. That's kind of an ongoing process, but you can put stickers on that thing as well. So everybody does that. So I was like, yeah, let's leave some marks there as well. So next time,
you have to go back very often to check whether someone else has covered it or not. Then keep sticking more,
Yeah, I put like 6 stickers on every side, so there's a likely chance that you'll see one.
This is awesome.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's been Windows 365 Cloud PC has been a lot of fun. Seeing the announcements to what it can do, and the directions it's moving into and stuff like that is the new era. So it's really great. Also great to see that someone like you who's leading it, who's also very community focused. You're out there in the community. You're on Twitter. You're on all these places. You're not just a person behind the scenes, and you're engaging and stuff, which is really, I hear a lot of great compliments about you. So keep doing that.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Like, I think like what is different from how I work, I don't see myself as a traditional PM, so to say. So I do PM work, don't get me wrong. So I design features, I design them, and I ship them. So I just do the same work, but on the side I do other work as well, because I really understand the kind of like customer scenarios in business. So I did all the layers in the past. So I've been an help desk employee, system engineer, an architect, pre-sales architect. So I did all the different layers, and I as well have been part of 2 new startup products, so like Avis Logix, Windows Virtual Desktop. So I really know kind of the journey where customers come from, where they are today. So I really have a sort of a sense where they want to learn about, what they need to learn about, and what the kind of pain points are in some of the elements in documentation, presentations.
Exactly.
And and I like as well to bring in people like yourself and Anoop to present their experience, because they exactly know what where your expertise is, to jump in like a gap as well. So to give a community member as well a voice in a Microsoft event, for example.
Yeah, because you have the book experience, which is like, you go through documentation, but that doesn't always reflect with what really is in the trenches in production. So that is where, like, at the end of the day, the people who are implementing, who are supporting the IT pros and stuff, they really need that connection as well, because either IT pros are the customers themselves, or they're supporting customers, which we want to make sure, right?
No, that's completely right. And so I'm not like saying that Microsoft documentation is not a good resource, but it's like it's not covering all the aspects. So so if you are, for example, an experienced engineer, then the docs is probably an easy one for you to read. But if you are a beginner, you probably need more pictures of video content, or some notes in between saying, hey, if you're here, you have different paths to take. You can go left or right. It's all good. But for your scenario, it's probably better to take the right path. Exactly. And that is not always covered in documentation. And that's where I normally make a difference. So I try to be more comprehensive. And I think Anoop is doing exactly the same thing. So
with his blogs and videos and stuff like that, and that's exactly it. And it's it's also from support from you and your team, right? Who are giving the tools and the information that needs for us to decipher and hand out to our followers and stuff. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Exactly. And one thing I learned in the last like 5 to 6 years is that it's not always the technology that is like making a difference. Like, you can have a great technology that represents like something that you did in the past in a very more efficient and compelling and better pricing manner. But if you don't position the product or like create content or things around it to make it easy for customers to use it, then you will likely fail as well with the implementation of the product. So it's like the complete phasing of like creating an idea of a product, shipping it, and as well bringing the product to like the customer, to the IT pro, to the partner. That's kind of like the most important piece. But it's a combination, of course. The first needs to be good, and the second part as well. But I think that's where Windows 365 really differentiates from other products in market. So we have a good product that simplifies the way how you can use like a hybrid remote working technology, and as well we have all the content and everything to use in place almost directly at launch. And that's kind of one of the missions, the goals that I had to carry that responsibility as a team, that I couldn't like let it happen that things were shipping and customers or IT pros were saying, I don't understand this, could you write this, or this is not like something I understand. I really want to have like that baseline kind of content and knowledge and video material available like at launch or directly after launch, to just have like plenty of resources, so you can just search there or there and just pick what you need. And I think that's something we did better than other products in the past. And it's all a difference in how Microsoft currently works and thinks about those things, about community and work with MVPs and such. I think that is way more powerful right now, thinking really in the seat, the driver's seat of the customer, and help them as well. Yeah. Than like 20 years back or something. So that's really.
And I also agree that what I like seeing now with Windows 365 is that it's just not a product that was announced and hyped, and then some blog post, and then it's kind of like fizzled away, kind of like, it's like it's always in your face right now, right? Almost on a weekly basis, which is a good thing, which is what you want, right? You have the announcement, you hype it, you're like, hey, this is really cool stuff for the modern age and where we're going with, how we do work and stuff. And we need to keep, keep the momentum going while we continue to add features and fix issues and so on, and then empower people to use it, right?
I think it's continuous innovation and continuous kind of support coming from Microsoft. From my perspective, I think,
you can see it like the team where I'm working in consists out of a lot of members out of the Azure Virtual Desktop and as well the RDS team. So we exactly know like the hurdles and the challenges customers were facing. So we bring all that knowledge into this product, and we created a new baseline out of like Microsoft Endpoint Manager that really simplifies things that were like way more difficult in the past. So I think that's very powerful of the team that we have, that we can already like proactively think in like features that you have to like address like common challenges in other products, or like RDS back in the days, or still is. It's very complex for just a general like IT department to spin up and maintain. And with like Windows 365, you if you are a MEM admin, you can just spin up a cloud PC. That's relatively easy, and we already have seen customers acknowledging that message as well. So that's kind of what that's our promise, our principles, to deliver a remoting technology like Cloud PC is in a simplified manner, just like how you spin and manage your physical PC, and that's like addressing so much more potential in market than like what VDI, for example, does in market today. VDI is a great technology, and it's kind of the same technology from a remoting perspective, but the layers and the management around it is completely different, because we automated all the processes to create it, to spin it up, and to leverage like the brokering technology to set up that session in a secure manner. That's all just a click of a button, and then you're good to go. And that's really disruptive to technology that, like in the past, I can imagine, or I can still remember that I had like several servers and like an external gateway environment with a very expensive and as well complex radius server, which I needed for secondary authentication. And right now you just flip the switch. You even doesn't have to do it anymore, because Azure MFA is auto-enabled. And then you have just your phone, right? It's like a different experience. Like if you have a little bit of affinity with IT, you can do it. So
I came from a VMware VDI environment, and I agree, it's pretty tedious. I mean, the steps you have to take to just set up the infrastructure. Forget about not even starting with the desktops, just the infrastructure itself. It is very convoluted and heavy. You almost have to have like a PhD to do it. And then after that, trying to build your desktops and how are you going to deliver applications and all that stuff. And it's just so that's why it was exciting to see Cloud PC, and I try to explain to people. I'm like, it's like using your own laptop, except you're just using your own laptop, but it's in the cloud. It follows you.
Yeah, and in a secure way as well. So if you are on a bring your own device, you can just connect to your corporate like lap or desktop environment, your PC in the cloud, your Windows in the cloud environment, and then you can just connect wherever you are, and that's so powerful with like hybrid work and pre-COVID new way of exploring how you continue doing your work. And this is a very powerful like product to fit in that like process to create a flexible way of connecting to your corporate environment. And it could be an internet, but as well Microsoft apps, SaaS apps as well, almost everything. But mostly what we see is that the Windows applications are like one of the main reasons why you still connect to like a virtual environment in the cloud to connect to your line of business apps and such.
Yes.
And that's like Cloud PC is a great platform to do that for. So
So where do you see the future going with this?
Yes, so that's a good question. So let me show something real quick here on the screen. So So normally when people ask me, okay, what do you think the journey and what do you think the future is around like a customer moving to the cloud and as part of the digital transformation, I use this slide normally to explain a little bit of that journey where customers are going to. So you have wave one, wave two, wave three, and wave one is really, okay, I have my on-premises environment, I have a VDI solution, I have SCCM, I have like an endpoint like management solution separately, all three, four, maybe five, six different management solutions side by side without any consolidation, which makes it very complex. You have different IT departments, and in the IT departments, you have small other IT departments that sort of do all their own things. There's no like such alignment. I think that's not like a very common scenario anymore. Customers are already moving in a direction where they want to streamline that process, and that brings you more to wave two, and that's where you see that you still have those management solutions separately, but you try to use one consolidated like experience from something like Microsoft Endpoint Manager, where you maintain your physical PCs, your mobile devices, but perhaps as well your cloud PCs. Just like one console, but still different like management consoles underneath and solutions. That's I think where most customers are right now. So they are still searching for ways to consolidate that. They still have some legacy where they want to move away from, but it's hard because it requires migration time and effort and risk as well to take. But the end goal of most customers is to move to a consolidated experience and have everything in one single pane of glass with the same knowledge needed for that. And that's where Microsoft Endpoint Manager fits in perfectly. Like you have one unified pane of glass, you can configure physical, mobile, cloud PCs. You can even manage your HoloLens and such, all kinds of different devices from one single pane of glass experience, one like product experience, and everything works perfectly fine with other Microsoft products. And that's where you can see that in the third wave here with like image management happens via Intune, so you just layer on applications. You don't have to create like a golden image, base image and such yourself. Very easy. Think about like cloud printing. You can consolidate like your printing environment, so you can simplify printing. You don't have that like print server complex environment anymore, so you remove those extra overhead for maintenance and consolidate that in a PaaS service. So all kinds of examples what you can achieve with Microsoft 365 products today, and most likely customers already have like a Microsoft 365 E3 or E5 license. So you would be amazed how many like services in that stack you can use to replace existing services. And yeah, Windows 365 Cloud PC is now one of them as well, to streamline and have that same experience in MEM and Microsoft Endpoint Manager Intune available. So I think it's a game-changing way for customers that have been fighting battles with, hey, I want to have a virtualization technology, but I don't want to invest time and knowledge and money to train an IT department to get the benefits of a technology like that. And then Windows 365 brings it in a simplified manner for a fixed price, which basically is just a fee for the virtual machine. And the rest is all part of your M365 licensing model as well. So yeah, as I said, it's a really streamlined experience, a unified experience, and an IT admin can just create a cloud PC as well. No need for extra VDI knowledge and such. It's one of those principles we have as a service.
Right. And the licensing model is different. I mean, the cost factor is different than AVD, right? So this one is more of a set based on the processor and the memory and all that stuff that you choose, and then versus VDI is more about consumption and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's correct. So we provide you a consistent 24/7 availability experience, so you can just work whenever you want. You have like a personalized experience, so you log on and that that like box, that Cloud PC, is from the user. So you can install applications if you allow the user to do so. So everything is persistent. It's the real like Windows experience that you have on a physical PC as well. And on
do you see? I know right now this is like it's focused on enterprises and small business and stuff. Do you see this moving towards the consumer side of things, where like for example, a family, like that just like getting your Office 365 for family, right? You got the 5 licenses and stuff like that. Do you see that moving into that direction at some point?
Yeah, it's a good question, and of course, I cannot really share that much about
I know.
it. But we are definitely looking into scenarios like this right now. So yeah, who knows?
Yeah, no, definitely. I didn't mean to touch upon that, but I'm just thinking like thinking aloud, right? It seems like a lot of people like when it comes to consumers, they don't have good devices. They tend to lack compared to like businesses and stuff. They're always upgrading their devices and stuff like that. But a regular home user, devices are pretty lacking and stuff like that. So you could some of them are using iPads and some of them are using whatever. But it would be cool at some point, like, hey, you could leverage it.
Yeah. So we are definitely taking those things seriously. So I just call something out. I'm not making any promises here, but could as well be that maybe in the future there will be a device that connect directly up to Cloud PC and is like offered for a low price. So the device is not doing the hard work, but it's just like sort of a connection broker to the Cloud PC like environment.
Zero client.
Yeah, something like that. But it's all like Microsoft, so you can potentially customize it as well. So if we talk about a business kind of device, you can use Autopilot to configure it. So out of the box, everything works and can connect to Cloud PC. And if you take it from a consumer perspective, it can just be auto-configured, like just as part of a subscription or something that you pay. So yeah.
Speaking of zero clients, I had someone ask me a question about, okay, if we want to, right now we use zero clients with for VDI, let's say, VMware and stuff like that. Is it possible to use Windows 365 with zero clients, like I won't name the devices, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I exactly know what you're talking about. So so we are currently exploring partnerships with like zero client Linux vendors right now for Cloud PC to like co-engineer like future-wise devices that can connect to Cloud PC as well, be managed by Microsoft Endpoint Manager, for example. However, the zero clients that you currently use today for connecting to Azure Virtual Desktop, you can connect as well with those to Windows 365 because we use the same brokering service environment. So on the back, so the management layer is different and all the automation, but the brokering that we leverage is the same. So you can leverage those if you want to move with such client as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay. And I don't know, you had any questions or you want me to keep going?
No, you keep going. Yeah, that's okay.
So I'll just, I'm just throwing out what I hear out there, and it's since we have you, might as well, one of the big questions people tend to ask, and lately is trial licenses. I know, Microsoft, we reached capacity, and I think maybe it was overwhelming response to the announcement to show like how much people really love it and want it. So, and I know you guys are trying to increase the capacity and doing all that fun stuff behind the scenes. Trial licenses, roughly what? Give us the
Yeah, it's a good question, and we get that quite often, of course. So we have been facing a very good, and as well on the flip side as well, like a bad situation for some customers that want to kick the tires and couldn't use the trial license. So we really acknowledge that, of course, that we are fixing that as soon as possible. So the trial license that we prepared were forecasted for the full year, and like in 2 days we already reached that capacity, which is like amazing, of course, with the interest in the service. So that's way beyond expectations. However, like serious customers that were, I don't know, on holiday, for example, and wanted to kick the tires the week later, like after the launch week, they cannot like do that with a trial license right now. So they have to pay it first. So we fully acknowledge that. We are working on it. So we already have some progress there happening. So probably I cannot really share like a date or in the next couple of weeks or so, but it will happen very soon. So we will have the trial licenses coming back available from the launch. So the trials are 60 days, with an expiration date of 60 days. So that 60 days is expiring in like a month or so. So there will be lots of capacity available from that, and we are expanding that to like more than we predicted as well. So think about a similar experience you had on the first 2 days as well in the upcoming near future, that you can just use a trial license and just kick the tires as part of the Windows 365 service.
So those that have filled out those forms that were first put out, they will be notified because you're already part of the queue, right? And stuff like that.
Correct. So we have a notification form right now. You can fill it in if you're serious in kicking the tires. It could be that we give you some priority before we do it for everyone. So feel free to keep doing that because we really whitelist still customers every day. But it's not like for everyone, and that's coming back very soon, that everybody can use the trial license again. So that's great and great news, and creates as well a new way as well to try the service and convince like IT pros, because some IT pros first want to configure it before they really start using it, of course, and this is a great way of doing that without spending money on the product first. So this is coming soon, as I said, and it's let's leave it with coming very soon. That's probably the best explanation I can give here. And another thing that comes soon is like GPU SKUs, and Windows 11 support is just around the corner too. So if you want to use Windows 11 because you want to try Windows 11 before you implement it, then Windows 365 is a great like product as well, because it's fairly easy to just create a Cloud PC in the cloud and then try the new operating system from Microsoft. So another very good trigger point to use this service.
Okay. That's cool. That's great stuff. Yeah, a lot of good things.
I can show if you want like a quick demo as well. So this is kind of the experience. So we will change the wallpaper that you see to the Windows 11 one. We will have a Windows 365 like explicit created like an own custom Windows 11 wallpaper coming up as well. And here you see this Windows 11 running in the browser, and this could be as well Mac OS device, an iPad, an Android device, you name it. We support all devices that you can imagine, and you can just connect to your Windows 365 Cloud PC running Windows 11, and Windows 10 will be supported too. And one thing we changed as well on the back is that we changed to trusted launch enabled VMs, meaning that you can leverage the TPM chip inside the Cloud PC, and as well like think about like security features in the future, secure boot, security-based virtualization and such. So all to enable customers to leverage like security enhancements that you can do on a physical PC as well. So
that's awesome.
And one other thing that's coming soon, now showing you some cool demos anyway, is GPU SKUs. So we are working as well on adding a GPU inside the Cloud PC. So we already have that running and working internally. So we are working on some licensing positioning right now. But here you can see already a sneak preview of a cloud PC running on a GPU, and here you can see one of the mechanics episodes we did, and it works pretty smooth. So it's a very smooth experience. You can see 60 frames per second as like the experience with the visible graphic benchmark test. And what you can see here as well, that you can play a game inside the Cloud PC if you want to. So I installed Command and Conquer in
I
this
love that
Cloud
game.
PC.
Oh my God, I love that game.
Yeah, if you're from the 90s or you played a lot of games in the
Yes,
90s, then you
that's
know
my
this
favorite
game.
game.
Yeah, I still like it. So it's still fun to play this. And this is the remodeled version. So it's completely remodeled for HD and such. So you can see that everything works pretty smooth inside the
Wow.
Cloud PC. So it's sort of like addresses or shows an example of how the experience could be when you have like graphical intense applications
Yeah, it's
or
really smooth
AutoCAD
and
or
stuff.
Revit. Yeah, exactly. And you can even play a game as well if you want. So something we are investigating as well is what if you are a full-time gamer and you want to have a gaming PC in the cloud, for example? You can use a cloud PC perhaps for that as well with a GPU. So so yeah, all interesting use cases we are exploring today. So here here you see some gaming experiences that we did like mostly after school in the 90s, right? So
Yeah, I remember this. Oh my God, I can't believe this.
yeah, so yeah, it just like draws an example of the power of resources and as well the performance you can leverage over just the network connection instead of having
Yeah.
that physical PC in front of you. Some people really think, okay, your PC is in the cloud, so then the performance would be worse because it's not sitting in front of me. But the
True.
performance improvements around like the RDP protocol and such have been amazing over the last 5 years, and this is the great example of that you can like really play a HD game with like 60 frames or even more than 60 frames per second. And yeah, just play it wherever you want. Even on your iPad, you can play Command and Conquer, which is a
Yeah.
Windows PC game, right? So it's the same for Windows line of business apps, for example. So
Cool. That's great. Yeah.
so yeah, and one like we are still going through like some of the nice and fancy demos here. So I have some other nice and fancy demos as well. And that's around like what we do in the partner space. So like if you think about virtualization, remote desktop services, AVD or other technology, partners never really had a good like solution to manage all those environments side by side, and we really wanted to take like a step back and think in that partner point of view, and how can we help partners with Windows 365 to make it easier to maintain all those partner environments or all those customer environments as a partner. So with Microsoft 365 Lighthouse, it's a relatively new product. You can connect to all your Cloud PC environments as a partner. So this is not available today. It's coming very soon, but this is a sneak preview of that. So you can click to Windows 365 in the menu, and as a partner, you will see all the tenants here. So all different Azure AD tenants with different Windows 365 Cloud PC. Cloud PC configurations. So think about network connections, but as well Cloud PCs, of course. You can all see it from here. We will start with the enterprise product integration, and business will come after that as well. But really to acknowledge that as a partner, this is so much easier to leverage, and it's as well part of the Microsoft stack. So it's just part of the licensing model. So no additional investments or such are needed for this. So it's a really powerful tool for partners to manage and maintain cloud PCs in their environment.
Okay.
So just some examples here. This is going through like all the cloud PCs. So you see here all the different like cloud PC names, the tenants, where they are activated in, as well as the license models and the provisioning status. So all kind of information you want to see as a partner, to do it on a larger scale for larger and smaller customers as well, all side by side, without switching between tenants or log on with that administrator account on the side and things like that. This is much easier, of course. So that's one demo, exclusive one as well. I didn't show this that often yet, so this is a very exclusive demo for you guys as well. And one thing we announced as well is the public preview of Endpoint Analytics. So Endpoint Analytics now has 2 new reports, or the research performance, for example, that you can use to see the performance of the CPU and RAM as part of your Cloud PC, as you can see here. So here you see all the Cloud PCs and the performance of that in Endpoint Analytics. So you see the scoring cards, the baseline score, and as well the CPU and RAM history. So you see whether your Cloud PC is performing well or not, and if there are some changes after like a Windows update or something else that you apply to the Cloud PC. You can see the logon duration and history as well in here. So really easy way to proactively do monitoring, and that's all included inside the Microsoft 365 Enterprise license. So no additional investment that you need to take for bringing in Azure Monitor or other monitoring tools. You can just keep it inside the technology stack as well. And then you have remoting connection, and that means that you can measure the distance between your physical endpoint and the Cloud PC. And here you see, like, for example, the round trip time on average in your environment. So you can do some measurements. If somebody says, I have a bad experience, that you can say, hey, I see the latency going up here. And then you can check where the end user is, for example, and if he's connected over Wi-Fi connection or such like that, that could like create a bad performance here. One thing you can do here as well is resize the Cloud PC. So if you see that the CPU is performing 80 or 90 or 99% CPU, then probably you need to shift that user to a higher Cloud PC. So what you can do is just click on Resize in the Devices menu of the Cloud PC, and then switch to, like, for example, instead of 1 core 2 gigs of RAM to a 2 core 4 gig or 16 gigs of RAM Cloud PC license. And then the Cloud PC will just be rebooted on the back, and then the Cloud PC has the new resource just straight away after reboot without losing any data and such. So it's a really easy way to stay productive and consistent, like have a consistent experience for the end user as well. So
this is really good info, because I think a lot of people think that once you select your configuration, you're kind of tied to that, but this gives you really granular options later on. You don't have to, you can start with low and then move up. I noticed earlier you had for types, you had Cloud PC Lite and Cloud PC Standard. Can you explain the two?
Yeah. So that are internal licenses. So you can basically compare Lite with Cloud PC Enterprise, 1 vCPU, 2 gigs of RAM, and 64 gigs of storage. That were licenses we use internally as part of naming, but we really moved away from that. So if you purchase a license, you really see the license named as the resource you leverage. So it's Cloud PC Enterprise, and then core, RAM, and then the operating system disk size. That's kind of the name of the license right now. So that's how you should see it. This was an internal preview, so therefore you see our internal licenses in there. But a real customer in the product environment, in the production environment, will see just the size of the Cloud PC and the license, whether it's like enterprise or business as well.
Is there ability to add additional drives at the moment? No?
Data disks, like extra storage? Yeah, that's a good question. It's a good question. We are currently looking into that, but that's not possible today. And we are recommending customers to use OneDrive, of course, to store any extra data, because you have like so many terabytes if you want to store data that the D drive is not always needed to use. But if you have an application that stores data on the D drive and that cannot sit on the C drive, then that's something we cannot offer. But the C drive of a Cloud PC is persistent, so you can leverage that too to just store it on a C drive, perhaps, and then increase the size of the C drive. So
yeah, I was looking at the application side of things because I know in the past there used to be some applications that required a specific drive and a drive ladder. So okay,
yeah, so that could be the C drive sometimes as well. So perhaps you can do that because the C drive is persistent and the user is the owner of the C drive. So when you were like logging onto a VDI environment, it could have been that the C drive, you were not the owner of that. And with Cloud PC, that's different. So you are the owner of the C drive.
Right. Okay. That's great. It's good stuff.
So one thing perhaps that is good to mention here as well is like, what are the differences between the two licenses we have? Or we have more licenses, but the two products we have as part of licensing, what are the differences and when do you pick the other one, for example? So the answer to the question, when do you pick the product, depends on the use case as well as the size of your environment. So Windows 365 Business, for example, is our easy one-click provisioning product. So you don't have to bring in like Microsoft Endpoint Manager, for example. Things like that are not like necessary, and therefore it's very easy to create a Cloud PC as well. So Windows 365 Business, if you purchase like that license in the admin center, you just assign that license to a user, and then the Cloud PC is being created, and then you can log on to the Cloud PC. So it's a really just two-step process, and then you're good to go. So really, disruptive in the way how you can use like a technology like that, because we leverage Azure AD native on the back, so there's no need to bring in a domain controller and such. So that's the business product. There are some limitations on that, of course, so you cannot bring in custom images, application delivery is not possible today, things like that. We are currently expanding the offering for business as well to think about more admin experiences. So you can create like local administrator or local, just administrators that are local administrators with a group permission, or decide to not to do that. So just make them user only, operating system version, decision changes that we will make in the process, perhaps all kinds of IT admin capabilities in the business product that will come as well somewhere soon. However, if you want to have more enterprise capabilities, so business is more for 1 user to 300. If you are larger than that, then you go to enterprise, and then you will need Microsoft Endpoint Manager as well, because everything works in Microsoft Endpoint Manager. And the other positive side of that is that you get universal print support, custom image support, image management support, endpoint analytics, of course. Everything that you do in MEM is supported, so configuration profiles, security baselines, you name it, everything just works the same. And the other great thing is that you can connect to your on-prem environment. So if you have apps that require a connection to on-prem, like your intranet or your backend services, you can easily do that with an on-premises network connection that leverages an Azure Virtual Network to connect to on-prem via ExpressRoute or site-to-site VPN or things like that. And that's what really enterprises, they need that to connect an application inside the Cloud PC to a database server or an application server that runs in their own private cloud, for example. So that's more supported with enterprise. And enterprise currently hybrid Azure AD, but we will bring in Azure AD only as well very soon. So we are currently planning. We plan for end of this calendar year. Could be later. I don't make any promises here, but we are making good progress with the enterprise product, and that would mean that you can just assign a license for enterprise, configure a provisioning policy, and then you're good to go too. So it's a really streamlined process then.
That's a big ask too lately. So
it depends as well where you are in that journey that I just explained. Right. Like if you still are dependent on Kerberos because you have an application that connects and authenticates to a Kerberos application, that would mean that you still need like a Kerberos environment, and then hybrid is still the best pick for your business. Right. But we understand that some customers are way more ahead of the curve than others, and they want to leverage like cloud native technology and want to leverage Azure AD only, and we will have that in the product ready as well for those customers, and we will not remove hybrid by then as well. So we will leave the option to go either hybrid or Azure AD like later. So so all kinds of flexibilities that they can pick.
Awesome.
So yeah, I can show way more demos, of course. I have great things. One thing I want to share as well, just like a little bit, like not a demo, but still very important. So Anoop and some other MVPs, we just finished an event like last week. It's called Microsoft Meets Community, where Microsoft meets the community, and we present both together, like sessions to explain the product and best practices. So there will be another version of that, which is more partner orientated, which is called Microsoft Meets Partners, where we bring in all the partners of Windows 365. So think about NetApp. NetApp has been creating a concept around Spot PC, which leverages Cloud PC on the back, Windows 365, and they added like an own control plane experience on top of that you can leverage to simplify the process and align with some of the products they built like side by side to extend the offering. So all kinds of partners that you see here, as well as MSPs, like ServiceNow, another partner, Nerdio, for example, they will present during this event their technologies, and I think it's very beneficial to see because they can do like a great job as well in filling in some asks from customers that we currently cannot do, or just because you already are a customer of those partners, that they can extend the experience that you currently leverage to. So this event is happening in like 1.5, 2 weeks from now. If you're interested in this, the link is not on the screen, I can see, but you need to go to aka.ms/ and then W365 partner event. If you go to that page, you can just add this link to
we'll
your
put
calendar.
it on our YouTube channel as well. We always do.
Okay, that's great. And then I have another one,
Sure.
and that's the book I'm writing. You already mentioned it, I guess.
I already bought that book. I'm waiting for it. I hope
Okay.
it's signed though, but it's.
That's great. Then you need to come over to Redmond, then I will sign it, and then you get a sticker and a Stroop as well for me if you want.
Yes.
So if you are interested in this book as well, if you watch this episode, this is not out yet, but you can pre-order it. We will release this book in 2 to 4 weeks from now. So we are finalizing the two last chapters as we speak, and then it goes to the publisher, and then it will ship to everyone. So if you want to pre-order or just want to have the link and order it on the date itself, you can go to ak.ms/masteringmem. I wrote this book together with Per Larsen. It's another well-known name in the community.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think so too, and we did a great job, and his content is amazing. And the other great thing is that we have Ken Pan and Scott Manchester writing the foreword. So Ken Pan, for the folks that don't know Ken Pan, he has been one of the leaders, the dev leaders of SMS, Intune, SCCM, all kinds of endpoint management products. So he has been an essential part in the success of that. So we have him sharing his story, and Scott Manchester, of course, background with AVD and everything around RDS, and he's explaining the journey and the vision around Windows 365 Cloud PC. So it's a great book, and definitely great for if you are like in phase wave 1 and you want to learn about the journey. This is really addressing all the technical questions you need to learn about like the modern workplace.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited for this. I'm waiting for the book.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, and I have as well a discount code to share. So if folks want to get 25%,
now he gives us a discount codes after we order the book.
Yeah, so the discount code is only valid for a week. So I received it for the event we had last week, but it's still open. So I wanted to give you guys as well the offering to do that. So if you go to Amazon and you put in 25 Microsoft, you get a 25% discount.
That's great.
So So yeah, so you don't get that, but if you waited, you could have one book for free from me if you wanted to. So yeah.
Awesome.
So one other great list of how to stay connected and engaged is this list of links. So if you want to go to documentation, you can go to the first link. Second link is the tech community page of Windows 365. We have a feedback site where you can provide feedback and do feature requests and such. So really encourage, if you have a feature that is not in a product, please go to aka.ms/w365 feedback and then put your feedback in there as well. The click-through demo that you guys earlier explained as well is available. It's now available for enterprise and for business, so you can just decide what product fits best and show that to either your colleagues or other businesses without spinning up a tenant. So it's a relatively easy way to show the interactiveness and as well the easiness of Windows 365 Cloud PC. And we have the what's in development roadmap. So you can go to that page, W365 roadmap, and then you see what we have in store in the near term future as well.
The
for
interactive demo is really well done, though.
Yeah.
Anup and I did a demo of that, and I think it's amazing. Walks you through, and if you're not paying attention, it just continues for you and stuff like that, and points you to where to click and stuff. It's really a good way of learning. So keep that going, I guess. Make it even,
Yeah, you can even make it full screen. So you can click full screen, and then it just looks like you click inside the portal. Yeah, exactly.
So that's good. And and I'm glad you mentioned about the feedback link, because I was going to ask about how do people submit, feature requests or things like that, and that's a good resource to have. This has been awesome. How do people reach you if they need to?
Yeah, that's
you don't want them to.
No. I'm very open. So no, they can always reach me. I'm very active on social media. So if they go to LinkedIn, they can just follow me, find my first and last name. Twitter is Brinkoff_C. That's my handle there. Just do it from there. And there are some other communities I do together with Anoop, for example, and Patrick and Donna and Aaron. That's the Windows 365 community. So w365community.com. So that's a good resource.
So many ways, and they'll find you on Snapchat and Instagram and
no, that's not no TikTok for me. So if TikTok would be amazing. Yeah, maybe I need to start on TikTok.
Maybe we should start one. For this W365 TikTok.
Yeah, I think
so
TikTok, you would be.
I have a friend who is who's recently became an MVP just a few months ago, and she focuses on Excel. Right, that's what her thing is, and she found a way to use TikTok and Instagram to do her videos, and she's doing an amazing job. She makes it fun. She has music. She's dancing and pointing at things, and people are learning. And she's built. Was that you've seen it, right?
Yeah, teaching Excel through TikTok, right?
Yeah, and she's built such a huge following, and even quit her day job. And it just focused on this now and doing training and stuff. So amazing powers out there if you put your mind to it, right?
Yeah. No, I think TikTok is like a platform where more younger people are listening into. So I think like Excel and others like Office products, that's a great thing to use that platform for. So
yeah.
I'm not sure if like a 10-year-old is using Windows 365.
We can get your son to start it, right? Because he's already now in.
He's licensed, so
he's licensed for Cloud PC.
He's
so
ready.
He can play probably online games, right?
He's probably playing Command and Conquer in his box right now.
Yeah. So I'll probably need to find you on Command and Conquer and play like a, team game. Oh my god, I love that game, and haven't played it in a long time, but that was one of my favorite games. And so anyway, so it's been great having you. This has been like an interview with Christian, kind of a segment. So I think people are going to get a lot of good value out of this, and we'd love to have you back again, maybe to focus on specific things, and definitely let us know if we can be of assistance for any of the events or whatever.
Yeah, definitely will do, and look forward to the next version. We can perhaps do one on Windows 11 soon.
Yes,
it's coming very soon. So
yeah, we should do that, and it's exciting that the TPM and stuff, all of that is built in, so even more better, right? So
yeah, and we are the only technology out there that is aligning with that hardware floor requirement. So there are no other solutions in market that will do that during the launching timeframe date of Windows 11. So it's a game-changing way of bringing a remoting technology with that hardware floor requirement to the customer. Yeah.
All right. So Anup, what do we say?
Yeah, namaste, and don't forget to share. Yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And whatever you want, you can do whatever you want.
We always have that at the end. This is Anup's favorite saying. He's got 1 billion people, over 1 billion people in India. And
1 billion. I'm going to run away now.
So yeah, this has been great.
Check
us out and follow Christian on Twitter and all the communities that he's provided. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.
That's good. Thanks. Cheers.